the Zennial Odyssey podcast, where we discuss life from the point of view of people born in the late 1970s to the early to mid 1980s. We discuss growing up analog and navigating adulthood in a digital world. Please come join us as we look to uncover what it actually means to be a Zennial.
Good afternoon, Rem.
Hey, Bobby.
So, it's been maybe like a week-ish, 2 weeks since we last did a podcast show. So what's on your mind?
I don't know, man. You and I are going through some transitions in life right now. We're both starting new gigs tomorrow, which is a pretty crazy thing to have in common again.
Simpatico right there.
Yeah. Fucking weird, man. Lost them at the same time, got new jobs at the same time. So I think you and I today, I can only speak for myself. I think I'm a little anxious, sort of like, just sort of like, okay, let's do this. A new chapter, another new chapter. I'm tired of new chapters, but I'm also excited, I guess.
I feel nothing.
Yeah.
Not dead inside nothing, but I feel nothing, to be honest with you. It's like,
here we go. Here we go again.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get the momentary bullshit over with, and then I'll just go from there.
Yeah. So, getting ready to start that. Yeah. We got a really fun episode planned for next week. This just kind of might be a filler episode, but first of all and foremost, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Just got all the stuff that I needed to get for the job taken care of, and they told me to, show up tomorrow, and we'll get the paperwork part of it started, and then just get me into it. And then they only do one orientation a month. They already did the one for November. So I will be attending the one in December. And that's about 3 weeks away-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Bob's staying in human services. I'm staying in the cannabis industry for now. And we're going to see what happens. But so it's like a transition day because we got that going on tomorrow. But we figured there was a little interesting moment in pop culture recently, Bob. Figured we'd talk about if you want to fill the people in on what went down.
Absolutely. So for all of you, and depending on the demographics that I saw about the numbers, a whole fuckload of us, apparently, we knew what was going on, and we wanted to watch the expedition fight of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, fuck, it was depressing, man. I guess we'll just start in order. So it's this big thing. For those who don't know, Jake Paul's this fucking YouTuber that everybody hates. Him and his brother Logan are famous for being infamous.
And that's what gets you the most likes and the most attention,
of course.
Sadly. Yeah.
I mean, they were smart, though. They used that as a diving board to launch into the next.
Oh, yeah. You have to give them credit for being entrepreneurs.
Yeah, businessmen.
You do.
For real. And so what had happened lately is the younger of the two both of them started boxing. But Bob, they box in such a weird way. Like, for example, what are who are the people he's boxed? Are they boxers?
Jake Paul is maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, he started upping the ante to actually fight like fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not real. Give them an idea if they don't know. He was fighting basketball players, ex-MMA guys. Like, initially, it was just a fuck show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was to be completely honest, it was what Mike Tyson did 4 years ago with other former fighter Roy Jones Jr. I mean, it's all like
performance fights. It's just exhibition.
But
like you said.
I think Jake Paul actually wants to
become a boxer.
He wants to add that to his pedigree and his resume.
Well,
so all of this is like a process to get up there.
Well, Jake, listen, bud. You don't do it by beating up a 68-year-old guy or whatever. Or 58 or whatever. That's not how you do it. And yeah, he challenged Mike Tyson. Arguably GOAT. Me and Bob grew up in households where anytime there was a Tyson fight, it was on. We saw those fights firsthand, those 19-second knockouts.
Mike Tyson is the last heavyweight prize fighter of our lifetime who everything stopped and was a major event of all major. It was essentially like the Super Bowl.
Yep.
When he would fight.
He was so good that they stopped betting if he'd win fights and started betting on how quickly he'd knock people out in the first round.
Yep.
So gamblers were like, betting on this guy turns nothing around. You don't get anything because they know he's going to win. So the odds in that are tiny.
But that Mike Tyson was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That Mike Tyson was not.
He was hungry.
Anywhere near what we what we saw. He wasn't even the hunger part. The hunger part was when he was still underneath his first trainer, Customato,
Yeah, 16.
who trained him up until he died, and then Don King took over, and is what it is.
One joke that me and Jamie kept making during the fight is, how amazing would it have been if Paul came out in a Customato fucking robe?
Yeah. Or
Tyson would have fought differently.
Or fucking Don King was there.
Yeah,
or, if,
yeah,
or
yeah.
if Don King was there, you could also argue it would have been different then too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this was done on Netflix.
For the first time.
Because Netflix is starting to be fair, everyone talks about that. It is the first sporting event.
They did do Love is Blind.
Yeah, but they also did the Tom Brady roast live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was live.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So they are getting into live streaming things. It's just that
They don't know how.
we saw that they don't know how. Yes, Remy, thank you very much. What they don't know what they're doing. And we saw what is to come. And what's to come is some just more shittery on top of. Everybody watched for the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Let's just be honest.
No question.
That is why we all tuned in. There were other fights. I did not watch the first fight. I watched the second and the third fight.
I'll tell you, man, they fucked up by having those girls fight second, because those girls raised the bar so fucking high. This is what I thought, right? First fight, Bobby missed it. It was a good fight. These two guys were out for blood with each other, but they went toe for toe mostly. Second fight, these two chicks had fought before, and it was one of the most violent fights ever.
Wasn't there a fight before those two guys?
Not that I saw, no.
Okay,
there might have been.
Because I saw that fight that you just talked about.
I started watching at 9, so if
Yeah.
there was a fight before that, I didn't see it. I saw the two Spanish guys, I believe, and the women.
Two guys from Mexico.
That's what it was.
Mexico, but one fight's out of Texas,
Yeah.
and then one fight's out of Arizona.
But I was like, oh, first fight's intense. Second fight's double intense. They're setting us up for a night of intensity. Wrong.
If we were lucky in that fight, we got 30 seconds of intensity.
Yeah, the first round, there was a moment where Mike looked hungry.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So everyone in the world stopped what they were doing, right, to watch this. So the first thing that happens that's fucked up, right, is it starts buffering. I've never in my life seen Netflix buffer. To Netflix's credit, my computer can be running like shit and like need a defrag and be like slow as fuck. I can put on Netflix and it will smooth right through everything. I'm watching Netflix. People had paid for this. I mean, I watched it over someone's house who had it. Dude, every 5 seconds, buffering. Like you're watching porn in 1991 on a fucking dial-up, dude. It was like you're waiting for the titties to scroll. Each line is printing out one by one.
Oh, I don't miss those days.
Nope. That formed character, though. But it was so insane because all they had to do, they had one job, right? The one job was to make sure that they didn't have choke points in the broadcast. And there were at least 100 when I watched the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. There was way more lag in the girl fight than there was in the Tyson fight. So I almost think they were tightening and loosening their bandwidth as they went.
Yeah.
And they underestimated the amount of people that were going to stay on the couch for the girl fight, because the girl fight was fucking brutal, dude.
Yep.
It was violent. It was it was like watching two female Spartans agree that no one leaves the ring till one of them dies.
You brought up a good point on Facebook, but also in our conversation on the way here that you wish your dad was still alive so he could have seen the pageantry, but at the same time, how it turned out, no.
That's because my dad, the reason I like boxing, I could talk boxing Bob for 4 hours. It was the one sport truly that was played in my house growing up. So I know about the motherfuckers like Sugar Ray who would duck and weave and just dance on their feet. Like I watched it. I watched Evander Holyfield go from not Evander Holyfield, George Foreman go from a killer to a sweetheart who sells grills. Like it was boxing in the 80s and 90s was fucking amazing.
And where I agree with you there is because my father also loved boxing. They would have absolutely loved that woman's fight.
Oh, my dad would have been on his feet every time they connected. He would have been standing up and be like, ah, like. So I said to my buddy,
dad would keep yelling. You'd go, go, another one, keep going, don't stop.
Yeah, you'd be, if you were in your bedroom, you'd be running out making sure the house wasn't on fire because your dad's fucking screaming at full volume. But yeah, I said to my friend, I'm like, man, I wish my dad was alive for this because he's a big boxing fan. I don't talk like this, but just go with it. He's a big boxing fan, and that's Mike Tyson. But I'm like, I think he'd really think this was a cool moment in history. Then 2 rounds into the Tyson fight, I looked at my friend and I was like, I'm glad my dad's dead.
Yep. I didn't say anything. I was watching it with my wife. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But halfway through round 2, I was just like, it's done.
But wait, let's do this in order. So first fight, Mexican guys, toe for toe, cool. Second fight. Something happens in the second fight that was like that made a lot of people wince. What was going on in that second fight that fucked people up?
Oh, all the headbutting?
All the headbutting,
and
the
that was going on.
I-gina. I call it the vagina, EYE.
I tried to measure it based off of what I was watching on the TV, and at one point, I assumed 2 inches. It was a 2-inch gash on her eyelid.
Basically, I think what we were seeing was her skull, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of these 2 girls, right? The girl named Taylor,
From Ireland.
Yeah.
Irish fighter. She's the pound for pound, like in that weight class. She is the champion of champions.
Because she fights a certain way.
Yeah.
We come to find out.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw her neck in the lead up to the fucking fight. And I was
She had a neck. I thought she just had shoulders and a head.
She had shoulders and a head. And I said,
Yeah.
oh, she's going to win. Come to find out, she's known for being a dirty fighter. Gets really tight braids in her hair, which, by the way, make your hair into a deadly fucking weapon. Tighten them, okay? So she's got braids. What she does is, it's a kind of a famous move, and it's funny because I said it to my buddy in the first fight. I said, oh, all you got to do is skim with the laces to cut an eye. And shitty boxers do that. So you're going to go for an eye, right? The eye you're going to be hitting the much. You're going to go, but you're going to miss on purpose and skate it.
And then the other thing she does, because she does this a lot to back it up, is she comes in, she goes low,
And it comes
and
up.
she comes high to kind of like grazing headbutt you.
Yep, constantly to reopen it.
We're not talking like old school like UFC in the early 90s where like headbutting was legal. We're not talking stuff like that. We're talking glancing blows that are subtle, but they add up a cumulative effect. And in this
100%.
case, it was opening, like not just opening it high. Like at one point, she was dripping, and it was like I was like, oh.
I was watching with another grown man, and we both, like, when the camera went in close to it and it was hanging off, we were both like,
And give me the other fighter, Serrano.
Yeah.
Is her name? Yeah. So Taylor versus Serrano.
Dude, let me tell you, man, Serrano.
That was
though,
worth. If I was paying for that,
I would've been
I mean, we're paying for Netflix monthly anyway, but
Yeah.
it's not like the old school days where you had to pay on pay-per-view.
Yeah,
If I had to pay, that fight alone was worth it
I agree.
until the end.
Yeah, no,
Until the
unfortunately, and they didn't call the fight, which they should have, but whatever. So they put Vaseline in her eye-gina.
Which is a common practice.
Yeah, stop it from bleeding into
Yep.
your eye.
Happens. They put it in your nose after they gauze your nose up
Because it's
between
just
rounds.
solid. It'll just hold the shit in there.
But it's only going to hold it until you get another, even if it's a brush.
A bump.
Yeah.
So what shitty boxers know is once you split the eye, right? If the fight doesn't end for that, which it does a lot, you just want to keep reopening it every round. And like Bobby said, so what she would do is she'd be punching like a fucking animal. Serrano would fucking put the hands up to block her face, which gave Taylor nothing. And then Taylor would come in for the hold because she had nothing else to do. And she was shorter than Serrano. So exactly what Bob said. If this is fucking Serrano's head, this is what Taylor's doing. Every time she comes up with the braids. Every fucking time.
Yep.
To the point where, like, me and my boy are yelling at the ref. We're like, what the fuck? He was doing nothing. Second round ref, you fucking suck. Second fight ref, I mean, you sucked. You didn't do shit. Was it a great blood sport match? Yeah. But unfortunately, the precedent, those girls raised the bar so high that when the next 2 clowns came out, it was like, I can't explain it, man.
The
It was like,
letdown of fucking letdowns.
yeah, it was like that moment when you take too many edibles. It was all good, and then suddenly, like, it wasn't good. You know what I mean?
I was good until I wasn't good
Until I
anymore.
wasn't good. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, second fight was brutal, but then they gave it to the girl who cheated.
Yeah.
What was cool is her coach jumped in the ring and was like, fuck this bitch. Look at all her talking about the other girl. Look at all of Taylor's fights. How do they end? And I guess like 7 have ended that way with her doing the exact same thing. He's like, I'm not letting my boxers fight this girl again because she doesn't fight fair. She doesn't fight good.
He basically told the ref to go fuck himself, which
And then
I
he said-
appreciated.
Yeah, I was mad that whole round. So when he said the ref, who literally did nothing, you fucking suck at your job. Man.
And why did Taylor start doing that? Round 1. You remember round 1?
Yeah,
Serrano fucking rocked her again and again and again.
She was using the height and the longer reach and just clocking her, dude. So she assesses like cowards do. Basically, she did the equivalent of a ball kick, bro, and wasn't called on it and then won the match. And even
she wasn't called on it, and then the ref started calling Serrano in later rounds. And you could hear her corner being like, hey, fucking asshole, why would you call the other fucking corner out?
Now, it seemed a little fixed in that sense. Got to be
Yeah.
completely honest. It did seem a little fixed in that sense. Which also kind of like me and Bob kind of thought after the first match, because a fight that wasn't even ended in a draw.
Yeah, that
And I was like, well, that's
a very entertaining fight.
great fight.
But
The draw was weird.
the champion,
Yeah.
the one who won, he won. He won on points. Like so again, with boxing, if you don't knock anyone out or knock people
It's
down,
just a point game.
It's a point game, and it's like if you have an even round and one person's better, they get 10 points, the other person gets 9 points.
Exactly. It's usually whoever wins wins by 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
It's a small scale, but yeah, he did. So that first fight, I was like, oh, okay.
A draw. They said it ended perfectly in a draw.
Which is very hard to do point wise. And then the second fight ended with them, and even the commentators, by the way, talk about Rosie Perez after this.
Yeah.
Even the commentators were like, no, Serrano should have won that fight. She was a bull. She took every punch. They asked her while blood was pouring down her face, are you good to go? She's like, let's fuck. Yeah. Like, it was ballsy. It was a great example of strength and perseverance.
And I more appreciate Hertz for taking. She didn't entirely take the high road, but she took the high road when they asked her and let her coach do the lot. But she did say, no, I want to fight her again.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do number 3. Let's do it again.
Let's just keep breaking my fucking eye open. But the second fight really raised the bar. It was like, oh, we saw some blood. We saw some fucking shit.
We saw like 2 people that, if Taylor would have done better, cheating aside, Taylor would have done better if when she saw Serrano starting to cover her face,
Body
to go
shots.
to the body.
Yep.
It is. I'm sorry. You hit someone in the liver.
It's done.
You hit them enough, and you hit them hard enough. It is fucking. Mike Tyson in his prime said that was his big thing.
Yeah.
You're protecting against me knocking you the fuck out.
So
Like, you are not protecting
I'm gonna break
your
your
liver.
liver.
I'm coming with my left. I'm hitting you in the liver, and when those hands drop, boom, lights out.
And here's what you don't understand about a liver shot. Okay, so liver is a major organ, and you're not supposed to shock your organs, okay? So what a fucking 900-pound per square inch punch does to your organs, to your liver specifically, is it makes it think it burst, okay? So your liver sends out these signals all through it, basically like, what the fuck just happened? Are we okay? It's like checking it, but every time it does that, it's throbbing for the
It
person.
sends your body into a quasi shock.
Yep.
And when I'm talking the medical term shock.
Yeah, oh, literally. You only
Like-
put the gloves down because you're about to cry.
Like your body
then-
is not functioning for like 20 seconds.
But I'll tell you, if you asked me if I wanted to take a straight jab or a body shot, I would take a jab to the face every fucking day.
Yep. Hit me in the face before you hit me in the liver or the kidneys.
A liver shot will make a grown man cry justifiably.
That's why for all of you, if you watch like MMA and Ultimate Fighting, when you see someone like basically get a TKO from like kicking someone in this
right
region,
there.
they're hitting you in the liver and you're done.
You just double over. You're
Yeah.
not good for anything.
You're done.
So I had hoped that second fight was like, oh, because the crazy thing.
You hope that there was like it was building
Yep.
this way.
But no, it peaked at the girl fight for sure. But there was a moment after it. I'll talk about this, then you can talk about Rosie. So they're talking to Mike Tyson in the locker room, okay? And this guy comes up to him and like, my thought pre-fight, okay? And this is what I kept saying to my boy.
I'm sorry to cut you. Was that his son?
Oh, he said, I love you and
Yeah.
kissed? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, my wife said that was his oldest son.
That's why he did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess he does work. I don't know if he works in media or not. And I then looked it up and I said, well, it wouldn't be Miguel, his younger.
Yeah,
He's 20, but he could. But his older son's like in his late 20s.
I was wondering
so
why I
like,
kissed him. So
I
anyway.
was like, okay, sorry, continue.
No, it's all right. So, Mike Tyson's talking to his son in the locker room, and he's like, "Yo, how's this fight going to be?" And the problem was, in every piece of promo material before it, these two acted like they were going to rip each other's fucking heads off. Like one was dying in the ring, and
Look
one
at the weigh-in the night before.
the slap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you see the whole footage though?
yeah. Don't run at him like a gorilla.
Yeah,
The
and then
fuck
he
is-
stepped on his foot.
I know.
Yeah. Like, but most people missed that part.
Yeah,
He
but
did.
it's like-
He did. I think Tyson was debating it, and then when that happened, he said, "Nah, I'm gonna go.
That was Tyson's best hit
I'm
the
gonna go
whole
for
game.
I'm gonna go for the slap."
That was better than any punch he threw in the fight.
That's sad but true.
So anyway, so he's talking to his son, and he's like, are you excited to win? He's like, I know I'll win. It's not even a question. Then he says, I love you, and kisses the interviewer, and then walks away in a workout thong with his full ass cheeks
You
out.
realize he's basically wearing chaps.
The cameraman literally did him so dirty. He went like this. And 2 seconds before, my boy was like, I have a feeling something fucked up's about to happen, and that happened. Dude, I'm sorry. For 5 minutes, the world was balanced. I was crying. I'm like, did that really just happen? I was like, I thought Tyson made chicken, but that Tyson makes cake. I could keep going. It was fucking crazy. But one thing I noticed, and I said this earlier in the fight when they would interview him, I said to my boy, I said, he's not angry. Tyson has to fight angry.
No, he was feigning anger.
He's not angry, bro. The whole reason he won when he was younger, he didn't like those guys. He wanted to hurt them. He went out to hurt them. And so seeing Mike's face and just his whole demeanor, I was like, oh, something's up, because he's very low energy. He's like, yeah, I'm excited about the fight. It's going to be a big opportunity. I love you. But he wasn't, I can't explain it. The fire wasn't there, and anyone who knows Tyson knew that. And I thought the other time was the walkout, bro. Him walking out, right? First time he's really done this in a long time. In this first time he's ever done it in this capacity. And tell me in the walkout he didn't look like a man who'd been bought out. That man was not walking to the ring excited. He looked like he knew he sold out, bro.
Bought out, no, but it looked like he had gotten exhausted from the facade he was putting on.
Fair enough. It was one of those, but either way, the wall was down.
I mean, we can say we're splitting hairs about how it looked. How about the fact that he like almost tripped and fell?
Everything about it, man. I was like, that's not the killer. That's what I said to my boy. And then, of course, Paul comes out in a lowered fucking, what was it, a lowrider car. Heavy D, the rapper, was driving it. His brother's in there. It's all this shit. But, I mean, he's bringing attention to whatever. Fuck you, Jake Paul, I hate you. But there was that. It was like 5 minutes just slow driving out. And then the fight begins. And within a minute, Tyson came out of the corner like he used to come out. And it's like in his head, he remembered, oh, I'm not supposed to knock this kid out. That's what it was really like.
I would say the big thing for me was his legs.
You can see them giving out.
Or the lack of his legs.
Well, let me circle back to this. I'm glad you brought that up. Yo, you're about to fight a almost 60-year-old guy, right? Any other prize fight would be going on at 9, okay? You understand that I'm like 3 years away from being 50 years old. And after 9 o'clock, get my ass home, bro. Get my ass home. I need to be in a robe. I need to be in a fucking proximity of a bed. I need that.
I thought you were going to say you have to be in the proximity of a robe.
Well, yeah, that helps too, because if I don't have a robe near me, everyone's seeing the bits and the berries. But I said the bits and the berries, threw myself off. Where was I going?
You were talking about how the fight, usually a fight of that pedigree, starts at 9 p.m.
Yeah, dude, this dude is an old fucking man. He's training at 6, 7, 8 in the morning. So Jake Paul's a genius, and he said, oh, you know what? We'll say the fight is starting at 9, but we won't come out till after 12. Any old man over 50, after 9 at night, you're losing half your strength. You are. You're naturally exhausted. You are. The fact that he's like, yeah, I'll fight this old guy as late as I literally can.
That goes back to all the contingencies about this fight, though. Mm-hmm. For example, if Jake Paul put in there that if Mike Tyson beat him in round 1, there's a sliding scale of money that Mike Tyson would get. And it would go on and go for it. So Mike had incentive to
pull his punches,
go as long as possible.
Yeah,
essentially.
And then there was a moment about halfway where you realized neither of them were throwing punches.
Yeah.
About, I would say, what would you say, about round 5, it became noticeable. Now,
yeah, it turned into, and I know I'll make enemies with this. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is the greatest defensive fighter in boxing history.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take that away from him. Much like Sugar Ray Leonard, he wanted to win on points.
Yep.
And that's all Jake Paul did. He okay, I got the point. I got the point.
Yep.
Whatever. I'm not going to knock him out. I'm going to give him that respect.
Yeah, but then the last 3 rounds just looked like choreography. I looked up the stats. Jake landed.
I wouldn't really call what Mike Tyson was doing choreography when it was like
biting his gloves. Yeah, no, it was fucking weird, dude. He looked like a man that in the middle of it, he's like, well, I can't get out of it now, so I'll just do it. But, and then you got to think, right? All the famous people that were there, courtside fucking tickets were $10,000. Imagine paying
and 2 people bought tickets for $2 million.
Yeah, because they thought that they were seeing history, like Muhammad Ali type shit, and it was a fake fight. Ultimately, do I think the fight was fake? Yeah, I do. A lot of people got interviewed on the way out. They felt too. It really just seemed like there were 2 clauses: don't knock each other out, last as long as possible.
And at the same time, if that were the case, put that fight on earlier than, like you were saying, put it on than fights that actually were fucking great.
Yep.
And should have ended the night.
Yep.
Would have been wonderful.
No one's boxing at 1 a.m.
now,
I don't fucking get that. That was so strange.
Now, I wish Jamie Stewart was here because I'm going to go a wrestling angle here.
Oh, it's the new wrestling now.
Not just that. I mean, did you know that the next wrestling, there's going to be a big wrestling event
On
Netflix because they highlighted that. One of the announcers used to announce for the WWE.
Yep.
And I know that because he reminded us multiple times.
Yeah.
Like obnoxiously.
Yeah, they're setting it up. That's going to try to be their new
And he
thing.
was awful. And thank you for bringing up Rosie Perez because believe this or not, everyone, she fucking saved the play-by-play.
And it was like, dude, for me and my friends who grew up on Spike Lee movies and her energy and choreography, it was like seeing an old fucking friend.
Was she in Do the Right Thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, was she in Do the Right Thing? She's the ice scene in Do the Right Thing.
Everybody knows would say white men can't jump. Like they would say that.
I disagree.
I would say younger people would be, oh yeah, that's like the crooked cop from Pineapple Express.
I maybe young people, but they don't count as people. No. Our generation can only know her from one thing. Ice cubes on the nipples during a Brooklyn heat wave, Do the Right Thing, shut the fuck up, take anything else elsewhere. I even said that at one point. I'm like, yo, you remember? And Jamie was like, the nipple scene. I was like, the nipple scene, bro.
You guys had a broman.
We had a broman. Touch nips.
But anyway, so when I first turned on the boxings and I'm hearing Rosie Perez and I'm like, what the fuck is Rosie Perez doing here? Like,
huge boxing fan, I found out.
Yeah, that's what I found out too. Huge boxing fan. Not just that though. Like, if she were not there, that
would have been so dry.
Would have been horrific. That would have added to the Netflix train wreck. It would have added to the Netflix train wreck on the buffering.
Put it this way. There were people that turned it on, saw Cedric the Entertainer's outfit and killed themselves.
Yeah.
There were hundreds of those, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or them going to, did you see when they went to Shaq in the crowd with Rob Gronkowski, former New England Patriot?
Yeah.
And they basically were like, it was like, whatever, but they're like, oh yeah, we're going to fight. And then you realize just how tall Shaq is when you realize Rob Gronkowski's like 6'6".
Massive.
And like he's dwarfed by Shaquille O'Neal.
You know what sucks is like I think about Shaquille O'Neal's dick a lot. Not like a lot. You know what I mean? Not like, this will be a soundbite. Not like a lot. Yeah. Not like a lot, but like I think about it, right? Because like his tiny wife takes that thing. And if everything on him is proportional, that man is 40% dick.
I'm glad that we had a nice little sidebar about Shaq's dick.
I don't know, man. Just one of those things. But yeah, it felt, it sucked the authenticity out of a sport that meant so much to me up to that point.
And this is where another thing I want to give Rosie Perez credit. She was like a play-by-play commentator because she was anticipating punches, which is what someone who's like seasoned and a professional who does that does. The person who was supposed to do that was more busy ball washing the WWE guy. And
100%.
It's like, oh, fuck you guys. Oh no, the buffering. Rosie was saying something great and buffering.
And the whole night did feel like a setup for Netflix being like, this is us now.
Mm-hmm. And then they brought Jerry Jones out, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. It's his stadium. I get it. And then they announced that Netflix is going to start, on Christmas, they're going to start showing NFL games.
Can't you guys wait for all those fucking, someone running for a touchdown and it buffers? That's going to be fun.
Patrick Mahomes, the bus is in the air.
Yeah,
25% buffering. If you were like me, you just hit the back button. And
That's what we all did.
And then hit watch live.
Yep. That's what we just kept doing back and forth.
Until it crashed, and then you just would get back in for 5 seconds and have to repeat that process until
back out and
crashed
back in.
again.
And,
Yeah, so the couple reasons why we wanted to talk about this, not just because it's a topical thing that just happened. We wanted to talk about it because Mike Tyson, for people our age, iconic, like I said, the last everything in your life stops boxer.
Friday night matches, bro. Bring my friends to my house with my dad. My dad knew I was smoking weed. He'd rather us smoke it in the house than go driving around. And it was dope seeing him get so excited. I got excited because he was like, you don't understand. You're seeing history.
Yeah, and people don't realize, like, boxing is a dying sport.
Yeah.
And people like Mike Tyson, they bring attention to it. And they also, the trickle effect of that is that it opens up the other weight classes and other people to see other great fighters. That's why the 1980s was fucking phenomenal. That's why the middle weight class
was
in boxing in the 1980s was incredible.
It was so crazy too, because like they all had different ways of writing cursive, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like you knew Foreman was a heavy hitter. He'd psych out his opponents. You knew Sugar Ray was going to tire out his opponents. He's just going to dance and make you look stupid dodging every punch and countering.
You knew for us here in Massachusetts, I know he's originally from Philadelphia. May he rest in peace. He trained in Brockton, Massachusetts. Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Marvin, yeah, dude.
Arguably the strongest chin in boxing history.
And another one who was
literally, you're going to hit me in my chin. I'm not going down, and I'm going to beat the fuck out of you for 15 rounds.
Yeah, people are afraid of getting in the ring with that.
My
dude.
father, did your father ever talk about Hagler Hearns?
Of course.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic two-minute fights ever.
That was like seminal in the way. That's what I mean by this felt like the death.
Did the ladies feel? That's what I was telling my wife. Like
the ladies felt like the highlight
I was
fight.
like, the ladies are feeling like the middleweight fights my father would watch in the 80s.
Yep.
Like, that's what it felt like. And that is, it's the closest I could get to anything like that. And she was kind of like, because she's seen it. She's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, oh, they are fucking each other up. And I said, this is what boxing was like in the 80s.
Do you remember, some people right now, they'll watch the movie Raging Bull and they'll see the opening scene in slow motion where fucking, he gets his fucking eye split and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And blood goes on the crowd, right? And I remember when that movie came out, I was a kid. It came out before I was born, but I remember seeing it, and I know a lot of people like, that's so unrealistic. No, look what just happened. Like, that is how boxing used to be. Like, now if you want that violence, you go to MMA, but it's just different. It's just different. I can't explain it.
Yeah, I can explain it. I think what draws people to MMA is that there's more involved. You're not just sitting there punching each other.
Oh yeah, there's layers to that.
There's ground pound, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with Jack's dick. It doesn't matter if you're winning the fight; you can lose it at any point.
100%.
That's what people love to.
Yeah,
and it's the closest thing that it's never gonna get to the height that boxing was at its height. But it's something that it's something, and it's something I do enjoy. And when we look at Mike Tyson, that's another nail in the coffin of the innocence of our youth, of getting raped, essentially. That's what it was. The rumors were that he was going to get $20 million. He's going to get more than that. I've seen it because
he stayed all 8 and they made more than they thought they would.
And they made more money than they thought they were going to make. Yeah. They made more in the gates, and then there were more people with eyes on it, even though it was having buffering issues.
Yeah.
It peaked at 65 million people.
Nuts.
Or 65 million households.
Yeah.
And on average, it was 60 million. And the women was on average 50, and they peaked at 60, I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. There are only 66 million households in the United States that have Netflix accounts. That's pretty impressive.
No, they did good, but I don't know. Felt like it just, all these things this year feel like the death of an era. Like everything's changing.
Adding to the conversation of transitions. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up that I did talk about with you on the way here is my frustration with the fact that if you have Netflix, get ready for that price to skyrocket.
Oh, without a doubt.
Get ready for that fucking thing to shoot through the fucking roof. And
because now they have that angle. Oh, you want your sports, you have to have us.
Because mostly the NFL, but a lot of like sports entities, they're seeking out all of these streaming services because they want to maximize all the money they can get. Yeah. They feel like they've maximized it in their form, and they're not excited. They're
trying to evolve.
Instead of being like the NFL, I think last year made something like $20 billion, and that's not the exact figure.
You're saying they made bank.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not good enough for you? Year over year? Like,
no, that's the thing about corporate greed.
We need to get to 30 in 5 years.
If we got to 60, that means we can get to 100.
How do we do that? Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football. Netflix, you should have learned your lesson by watching Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football. They buffer and they lag all the time. It happens to them. And the product goes in and out. If you're lucky, you don't get HD the whole time. It just goes in and out because of the buffering.
Yep.
But you should have learned your lesson from that. And now you're going to, in a month, you're going to start showing NFL games.
Good luck.
And the WWE and all of these things. And you've already created a package where you show commercials.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're just going to up it and up people's money.
You know what was weird?
I'm out.
It buffered constantly, but it didn't buffer when they showed Mike Tyson's naked ass.
Well, they just turned on more servers.
More bandwidth for that.
Yeah, they opened up for more bandwidth.
Crazy.
More bandwidth, cheek to cheek. They need to get that cheek to cheek bandwidth.
Nice, dude. The C to C, bro.
Yeah, you like that?
B2B and C2C, bro.
So my frustration is like Paramount does that.
Yeah.
Paramount gets playoff football games. Netflix is going to jump in on this. Amazon is in on this. There will be others that are going to get in on this. Everybody wants a piece of that, and everyone wants to just drive up the money. And it's yet another example of just like, we We are like the first group of people who got sick and tired of fucking cable, and so we cut the cord.
It's coming back.
And
Steal.
the streaming
Steal.
the streaming became a new great frontier, and it's taken them this long to figure out how to rape and pillage it, and they're at that point. So
Steal your cable.
there are options out there that are cheaper
Steal your cable.
because they don't have sports. So I'm pretty good with being like, yeah, fuck him.
Steal your cable.
Yeah. But I did that. I found one of the first streaming services that was essentially like a black box. Not like a jailbroken, and not like Cody, like the old school cable black box.
No shit.
Yeah. What the fuck was it called? iStream.
No shit.
iStream. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it's still around. It was based out of Atlanta. It was $50 a month, but you got everything.
Wow.
You got everything.
That's genius.
Every single thing you could imagine. No lie. 1,300 stations.
Wow.
Now, they did have their own lag issues, but the fact you still had all that stuff,
No
like,
shit.
yeah.
At your fingertips.
Yeah. I just got tired of because I was like, there's other options that are cheaper. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just, the older I get, like the more I'm like, if I want to watch a sporting event, I guess I'll go to somewhere and watch it. I don't need to watch it at home.
Yeah.
If it's going to be like this, like, fuck it. Like, if you're going to try to bleed me like a stone for everything I got, then I'm going to bow out. That's fine.
Good luck. I don't got nothing. So
Yeah.
can't get any blood from this stone.
Yeah. I'm speaking for myself because I know enough people out there, they're not going to bow out either. So,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what keeps it going. And it's like, oh, I guess I'll just have to get Paramount Plus, and I'll have to get Netflix and Hulu, and I'll have to get all these things to get all this. And then eventually you realize, oh, it's just cable without wires.
I'm doing the same shit. Yeah. Fuck that.
And so we had multiple things that were the death of whatever the fuckery that went on. And this all happened in a fucking exhibition fight.
Yeah.
Between an iconic person that was voiced by an iconic person from our youth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see how this all just came full circle. It was incredible.
Always does.
Yeah. And just trying to, without ads, even though they did do ads, I don't care what they say. They just did ads differently.
Yeah.
Like just hyping up everything. Jerry Jones, come on here, and we're going to show your football team in a month.
Oh, no, there were
Hey.
commercials. There was plenty of commercials for gambling.
Well, oh yeah, DraftKings?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, listen, DraftKings is the be all, end all. I can't say that I'd use DraftKings every now and then.
That's fine, man.
I do,
Whatever
I do.
works.
I do. I don't have a gambling problem because I just told you I didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
I believe you, bro.
Yeah. No, it's because I'm just like, ugh. Like, oh, I got $10 to spare. Whatever.
Yeah, that could be fun.
If I lose $10, I lose $10.
I've never had anything to spare. Must be nice.
Oh.
Just kidding. I spend it on shoes.
That wasn't the one I was looking for. It was just the only one.
It still worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the situation, guys. We just thought we'd fill you in on it.
Yeah, and if you do have Netflix and you can go back and watch it, you don't have to worry about the buffering. You've heard about everything that went on.
Yeah, don't watch it. Watch the second fight.
Skip Tyson and Paul and watch Taylor and Serrano.
Yeah, that fight was nuts.
Watch that. That's the only one you have to. You can watch the other one. The other one was good too. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Minimize that. They also
went at it.
They also went at it. But if you want to watch something that is akin to what we watched when we were children, you want to watch Taylor Serrano.
Yeah, it was a brutal fight, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, you got anything else?
No, man. I mean, that's kind of it. We're gonna do a fun one next week. So we're gonna put some stuff in the next week. So this week's just kind of a filler. We just wanted to get some stuff out, talk a little bit about the game. But yeah.
We're prepped. We're prepped for next week.
And we got to talk about our new jobs. So stay tuned.
I got the wings.
Hell yeah, bro.
We got the hot sauce.
We're doing a hate ones.
I've already put it out on social media so people do know it's coming. But we do have that, and I've created a few little segment jingles. Really, just one jingle. We're gonna play it on here. So hope you guys will enjoy that and enjoy us and see how we handle the hate.
All the scoves.
Yeah, hate ones. Yeah, who will we hate? We hate ourselves. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk shit while we're shitting our pants. So
essentially, yeah. All right. So until that next week when Mr. Jamie Stu will be back, everybody, we will take care. Have a great week, everyone. We'll talk to you then.